might have been wondering, well, we already have that nice little thing on our calculator, don't we? Where we can just type the integral in, right? We don't have integration unless on our calculator unless we have limits of integration. So most of these problems from Chapter 8 will not have limits of integration. So, and Logan, I get your calculator on the test, so I won't take it from you now. But Logan has a calculator that will do everything.
Oh.
It will make him lunch too if he asks it, I'm sure. So anyway, so just so you know, we'll focus on, you know, techniques today. I'm not going to focus so much on looking at these formulas in the back. So we're going to focus on techniques, how to find this antiderivative. So any ideas to start this? Let u equal something, okay.
In the parentheses.
Okay, in the parentheses, okay? In the parentheses, under a radical. In this case, it doesn't make much sense to just let x be u. So I'm going to pick what's in the parentheses. So u is 1 minus 2x to the 1/2. That helps us find the derivative. Find du. And du, let's see, if I multiply by 1/2, that becomes negative 1. X to the negative 1/2 dx. So I want to make this look more like what's over here. So du would actually be negative 1 over the square root of x dx. Do you see how this integral is going to work out? Okay. This part on the bottom is going to be replaced with a u. And the rest of the integral, what am I going to replace the rest of the integral with?
It'll just be negative.
It'll just be negative du. That's an extra, looks like a dw. Okay, so are you able to find that antiderivative fairly easily now?
Shouldn't it be negative 1?
Oh, yes, it should be
Or
u to the negative 1. That it should be that. And the du is not on the bottom, it's after it. Does that make sense? Okay. Okay, so what's the antiderivative of negative 1 over u du? Negative ln of u. Well, what's our u? 1 minus 2 radical x, and then plus c. And there's my antiderivative. All right, next one. Integral of t sine squared, or sine of t squared dt. Okay, ideas? Very good. U equals t squared, and du will be 2t dt. So my integral will change into what?
1/2.
Okay, 1/2 the integral of sine of u du. Okay, and the antiderivative will be 1/2
Negative 1/2.
negative 1/2,
Cosine.
and u was t squared plus c. Let's see, the integral of 2 over 2t minus 1 quantity squared plus 4 dt. Any idea what we should do here?
Plus 4 minus.
U equals 2t minus 1. And what are you going to say, Pablo?
Oh, it should be 19.
Like 16, 17.
It's 19.
With the arc sign, arc
Oh, never mind.
Okay, so you're thinking it's one of the bottom ones?
Yeah.
All right, so, okay, so this looks most like an arctangent, yep, because this would be the u, right? 2t minus 1 would be the u squared, and then plus a squared. And that 2, what can I do with that 2? Put it out in front. It might help with my u du thing. So we'll just let u be 2t minus 1. So that's how the formulas can help you out. If you can kind of match this up to one of these formulas here, that'll tell you what to let u equal sometimes. So u is going to be 2t minus 1, so du is 2 dt. So yeah, actually it's going to work out great. So my integral will change into, the top will be du over u squared plus 4. Okay, well what's our a then? A is 2. Okay, so it says that the antiderivative of this, the integral is 1 over a arc tangent of u over a and then plus c. So I'm just going to, in place of any of the a's, what am I going to put? 2. And in place of my u's, 2t minus 1. So this will be 1 over 2 arc tangent 2t minus 1 over 2 plus c.
We have to put like positive and negative.
No, you don't have to put positive or negative 2. No. Now, was it necessary that we did this substitution to start with? Yes, it is very necessary to do it, just because it took care of that number here, too. All right, so let's take a look at another one. The integral of the tangent of 2 over t squared dt. Yep. All right. Any idea where to start here? Good. U equals 2 over t. And the derivative of that? Yep, negative 2 over t squared dt. Boy, that works out beautifully, doesn't it? Almost, kind of. See, I've still, what's in this part that I don't have in my integral? The negative 2. So what am I going to have to do with that negative 2? Divide it, yeah, you're basically going to have to divide both sides here by negative 2, so this will be negative 1/2 du equals 1 over t squared dt. So, and a lot of you see that already in advance, I could tell. Hannah, you told me exactly what to pull out front. So out front I'm going to have a negative 1/2 integral of, this part becomes what? Tangent of u. And the rest of it becomes, including that, the du. So now, do you have a rule, a formula for the antiderivative of tangent of u? Yes, and that will have a negative 1/2 in front of it. So the integral of the tangent of u is what?
Negative natural log.
Okay, so the negative natural log will actually make that into a positive 1/2 natural log of the absolute value of the cosine of u. What was our u? 2 over t plus c. All right, so next one.
That's 6x minus
6x minus x squared, yeah. Okay, what? Okay, Okay, I think we need to complete the square here. What integration formula does that look kind of like? It looks like an arc, it looks like one of these at the bottom here, okay? It looks like one of these down at the bottom here. And always at first, go to the basic list. Don't just start digging in the back of the book trying to look for something. So it looks kind of like it might be 18 or 20, doesn't it? But the problem is I don't have an a squared minus u squared. How can I tell that I don't have that currently? Yeah, there's an x in both parts. So the a, you have to remember, the a in any of the formulas is strictly a number. So what we're going to have to do here is complete the square. So completing the square, I'm just going to focus on, I'm going to do that on the bottom here. Now in order to complete the square, the number in front of x squared actually has to be a positive 1. So what am I going to have to do underneath this radical? What? Pull out a negative 1 out of these two terms. So if I pull a negative 1 out, then I'll have x squared minus 6x. And now I want to complete the square. So if I complete the square, what number do I want to add and subtract? 9. Half of b squared. So b is the number in front of x. So to complete the square, you take half of b and square it. That's how you know what goes in the blank. All right, so that'd be plus 9 minus 9. So by adding 9 and subtracting 9, what have I really done? Nothing. I've not changed the problem at all. It just looks different. Okay, so now I need to make this look like the a squared minus u squared minus a squared. And I'm going for either one. I don't know, because I don't know if it's going to be this one or this one yet. I have a suspicion it's going to be 18, because I don't really have anything outside on the bottom. Okay, so these first three are the three that are going to become the u squared. So those factor as x minus 3 quantity squared. And they have a negative in front of it, and then if I distribute that negative towards this extra negative 9, what does it change to? Positive 9. So the way I probably want to write this underneath here is the integral of 3 over the square root of 9 minus x minus 3 quantity squared. Is that the same? Okay. So does that match 18 now? Okay. So I'm going to use rule number 18, or formula number 18, which says that the integral of du over the square root of a squared minus u squared is equal to the arc sine of u over a plus c. Okay, so now what's my u? X minus 3. Okay, now it's decision time. You have to decide, do I actually have to use substitution here and find du and change my integral?
No.
Why not? Okay.
X doesn't have a number in front of it.
Okay, well,
So, it'll just be
what's du? 1 dx. If you have a u whose derivative is 1, you don't actually have to go through all of substitution, because you're not going to have any constants or anything to pull out. And I think you were all saying that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't have to go through the substitution here. If this were 2x minus 3, would I? Yes, because the du would be 2 dx. So we pick u is x minus 3. What's a? 3. Okay, and that's there. So my integral, the answer to this will be arc sine. Oh, thank you. Good. That 3 on the top. 3 arc sine of x minus 3 over 3 plus c.